I will tell you this, Antoine is going to play.
Is he coming off the field? I guess that's the question.
Antoine is going to play.
Is this the type of game, I mean, that the players now can forget about everything, focus, this could be the season here with a win over?
Well, I think clearly, and I know I'm on record as saying this last week, I thought this short week was exactly what we needed after such a tough loss. Well, after clearly a disappointing performance on our part, coming home, last home game for the seniors against your very close rival, that hopefully that'll be very beneficial for our team. I felt good focus and energy yesterday in our meetings and at practice. We've had a lot of guys that have played in this game. We also have a lot of guys, when I had them put their hands up yesterday, we have a lot of guys who haven't played in this game before. And so we have to get them to understand the intensity that goes with this game. I understood it last year. I thought I understood it going into the game, and clearly when the ball gets kicked off, I clearly understood the intensity of the game. I learned of it during the week from our players and how I thought a real shift in their mindset last year. And clearly when the game evolved, I got it firsthand. And but in these kind of games, things happen fast. It's intense. You're always in it until the end, and you just got to keep playing. We have improved during the course of the season, and I think everybody knows that. We don't have the W's to show that at this time, but we certainly have a lot of things that we could point to with our team that are very positive, and we just need to keep building on that each and every week.
Have you started looking at the blue, at that group to the east? Have you had a chance to start looking at their tapes and at their games? Oh,
I've watched their tape, considerably. Saw them a little bit in the crossover games during the course of the season, but we started into them over the weekend. They're playing well. They came off that open date and they've played well and playing with a lot of confidence. They're running the football on offense, and Durham has certainly made a difference for them. Their offensive line is moving people, and defensively is impressive now. I mean, this was a team that a year ago was 4-4 in the league. This is a team that the year before was 4-4 in the league. It's a team that returns the #1 total defense in the Mid-American Conference and the reigning defensive player of the year. So they have some guys on that roster that are very good players.
What makes Nick so good?
He's very sudden, very quick. Very sudden, explosive.
Because I remember reading the quotes after the Alabama game, and a lot of the, I don't know about Nick's Coach Saban, but I know a lot of the players were very impressed with Nick's. And it seems also this year, Batten has come in very strong.
He's their lead tackler, Luke, and he does a really good job. And Malulu has been a nice addition to them as their weak side linebacker. So they do a lot of good things on defense. They're obviously well coached, and we're certainly going to have to do our part and play well on offense to give our team a chance in this game.
Do they make anything different in special teams? Because Cortez is a very good kicker, a field goal kicker.
Yeah.
And also like Antoine is doing, they're getting some big runs off the special teams. Is there anything you could do, except for the rugby kicks, but to do something to try and make sure that they don't hurt you with the special teams?
Well, we just have to play well on teams and be fundamentally sound and tackle the guy with the ball.
What are they doing?
Dumb question, but I have to know.
What are they doing differently than they did last year? They run the same.
Defensively?
Yeah.
I see a lot of the same movements. Just last year they were a moving team, a blitzing team, laterally, causing you problems up front. I see a lot of similar stuff. Might be blitzing a little bit more.
They play similar front?
Yeah, similar fronts.
How about offensively? What are they?
Offensively, it seems to me that they're committed to running the football. They're certainly not as spread out as they were a year ago. Last year they were, I think, very much a spread outfit. They're more under center, and inside zone, outside zone, power. Do a nice job with it. They moved their offensive line around, and it looks like it's paid benefits. Great benefits for them.
Are you guys to get that sense of urgency? Doing anything differently in practice, your approach, as far as the length that you're out there, or?
Well, it's a 10th game of the season, so you're not going to be out there as long as you would be if it was the 4th game of the season.
You mentioned yesterday on the...
I'm sorry?
You mentioned yesterday on the teleconference that they were running shifts on their defensive line.
They play eight players. Yeah. They go 2 deep at every spot, which is, in our league, that's an unbelievable luxury to have. So they run in, one group and then run in the next group and keep those guys fresh.
I was going to ask, how does that impact the one kid, Nick? Is that a plus for him? Have you seen him on film, or minus?
Well, I think it keeps him.
The numbers aren't particularly off the charts.
Yeah, I believe it keeps him fresh, keeps all their guys fresh, which helps them play at a high level.
You mentioned a lot of the younger players have never played against Kent. Maybe they're not familiar with the rivalry. You have some of the older guys approach them and talk to them as a team about what this game means to them?
We have some things like that built into this week, and I visited with the team yesterday about the history of the rivalry, the great history of it, and spoke to them in depth about that, as I've kind of gotten a history lesson since I've been here. And so I've gone ahead and spoke to our team about that to try to explain to them the background of it. And then we went ahead and, during the course of the week, we'll have some seniors that are going to play their last home game, share some thoughts with the team.
Do they understand that you guys have pretty much dominated this series? I mean, yeah.
Excuse me, Elton?
Do they understand that Akron is really up on this series? Or what is it, 20 to?
It's 30-21.
Yeah,
30-21.
It's pretty marked.
Yeah.
It's not a 50-50.
Correct. Yeah. Well, I said I gave him a history lesson yesterday, and hopefully they were paying attention. But and we need to do a great job this Saturday, because this team has no history with it. This team has this game, and this is a game that's important to this team.
What do you think the keys to your success are going to be this week, Coach?
Well, if you look around our league last weekend, outside of our game, every game was a 3 or 4 point game, and it was a 2 point game. So these are 4-quarter games, and these are hard-fought games. And the turnover battle often decides these games. So we have to make sure we hold on to it, and we have to find a way to take it away. And I think that goes without said. But in these type of games, these hard-fought games, these games with emotion to it, you have to be able to do that first and foremost. And so we got to make sure we do a great concerted effort in that area.
Can you talk just a little bit about Marcoux? His career's over then, right?
It is, unfortunately for Dan. Yeah, he's been a guy since I got here that I've gotten to know, I've gotten close to. He just pours it out there. He loves playing football. He's a good practice player. He's been one of those, we're trying to grow a toughness with our team, a physicalness to our team, and he clearly identifies with that. And in a hard way for a guy to end his career. But he's been a guy that's bought into everything we've done here. Been a real positive influence with our team, and I'm sure he'd like to be playing Saturday.
Just a little bit. I mean, I know you got to ask the Brian Wagner. I mean, just when you see him on film, and his defense is getting beat or whatever, and you see him day in and day out and everything.
He's a warrior.
A little bit about him. He's
a warrior. Clearly he's a warrior, and he just is so steady and so instinctive, and he's a throwback. He just loves playing football, loves practicing, loves playing, loves everything about it, and I'm certainly glad he's on our team.
I'm sure you didn't notice this, Coach, when Marcoux got hurt, they brought him over to the trainer's table. He talked about the closest he has with his teammates. Shane Shedd went over and held his hand the entire time he was being examined. Which to me, it's kind of emotional to see one of his teammates come over and stay with him and hold his hand while, because everybody, I think everybody knew it was a pretty big, tough injury. So for him to be over there, next to his teammates.
I didn't know that. I appreciate you sharing that. And I believe we have a close team. We have a bunch of guys that care about each other. And they've been through adversity. When you're building there was adversity before we arrived, and when you're building a program, there is adversity. And how we handle that adversity and how we move forward here will make a big difference for our program. And these seniors that are going to play their last game, Shane Shedd being one of them, they're going to play their last game here this Saturday. They've certainly laid it on the line for our program, and I'm sure proud of them, and look forward and hopefully to them having a great experience on Saturday but more importantly for them to be able to play their last game in front of a great fan base. Excited to have a great crowd on Saturday.